Made a mistake right there. Hey guys, how's it going? Sorry, I was just eating a pizza right now. It was really tasty. So let's get started. I was looking at Twitter while I ate. And, weird stuff on Twitter as usual. Hello, KC. Hello, Miss Dead Guy. Hello, Dragon Joe, dude. How's everybody doing? So, I think I've been giving some updates on Instagram and Twitter for the most part. And the animation is pretty like advanced. I've animated pretty much like 95% of what I had to animate in the first place. So we almost have a functioning pilot. Like if you show this to people, people go like, "Oh, I understand what's going on because there's motion." But there's moments like this one where I haven't rendered everything. Obviously, that in fact I haven't rendered more than half of it. So that's what I'm working on right now. Today I'm gonna keep it chill. So I'm probably gonna render this shot right here, which would be shot number 14 or 18. Oh, 18. And maybe a number 20 something, which is right here. No, I want this one. I want to render Freya because like I haven't seen her fully animated yet. I've seen everybody else fully animated except for Freya, so I want to work a little bit on a shot with her. So let me see if the audio is sounding well. Yeah, I can hear my own voice. Can people listen to my desktop? Doesn't matter because today I don't have to share any audio with you guys. All right, so let's go. So we already have this shot animated with Zara doing her reaction. So let's see what it looks like without any special effects. Oh, it looks pretty good, right? Yep. So this is the vector version. Remember, this is not what it looks in the final version. For example, the eyebrows are really messed up. That's not how you want them to look. You want them to look like this, which is basically just a line. Why do I want just a line? Because the distance so far away that you don't need details. So no details for that. But she does have that cool shading. You can see the drop shadow from her head. You can see the shading in her arms, the cape. We're going to need a drop shadow for the background as well. So for that, what we're going to do, we're going to come to this composite, which I prepared beforehand. Basically has the background in Blender form, which is that one. That's not the final version, of course. We want the cartoony version. And the color card just gives it a white background for everything. So we don't need that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to continue working on this background on a different software. Because the thing is that Tube is amazing for vector animation. But if you want to get, like some special like gradients or, look to the line work, it's not perfect for illustration in general. So I take it to Krita, which is an amazing piece of software. It is free. Honestly, it does everything it needs to do for static art. For animation, I worked on it for a while. It's a struggle, dude, if you're gonna animate in Krita. But if you're gonna make illustration, it's magnificent. In fact, I still have like my my animation timeline below here because that's how I used it before. No more. Oops, I didn't. Shouldn't have done that. Let me get rid of this guy. Okay, that looks nice. Okay, so let's keep going, dude. So what I do here is that I just have the file, which is a render from Blender, by the way. Which also, by the way, I can run again because I fixed my computer. I don't know if I told people. I mean, I was definitely talking about it on Twitter and Instagram a lot. That my computer was kind of like semi-dead because the fan was not working properly. So I have a strong CPU, but without a good fan, it doesn't do anything. And I couldn't render anything. So for a while, I had Blender with all my models or my 3D gear and stuff, and I couldn't use it because like my computer was not able to keep cool enough to even run Blender. But now I can just come here to Blender. I can rotate. I can do everything. I kind of forgot how you even use the software, but like let's see. Let's render this. It takes like very few seconds, even I would say, maybe like a minute to just render even a very complex setting like Calaveras Lab that I already had rendered before for the previous pilot. And well, it takes a while, but you know what I mean. Like I can render it at least. Before, I wasn't even able to, which was depressing me. Or actually, you know what? Maybe while streaming, it's not gonna be able to, but that's fine because I know my computer can handle like just breaking down Blender at least. Like I wish I could render it right now in a live stream, but oh no, it did. See, it's not even so bad. It just takes a little bit longer than if I'm not streaming. Because streaming is pretty GPU intensive. But look at that, dude. It's like the lab from the previous pilot. Yay. And I want to use a lot of like 3D assets for research unit of horrors in general, including those backgrounds. So that's just exciting news that I'm able to finally render stuff again. I wasn't able to for a really long while. But today we're working 2D on top of 3D. So that 3D over there, we don't want to see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a few folders. This one is going to be called floor. The next one is going to be called something else, I guess. Let's call this one trunks, because I like to work on my tree trunks separate from my leaves. I'm going to call this one leaves. And then you get one for the sky right here, which we're going to call it sky. Uh-huh. And finally, that might be enough. Like in this shot, there's no objects. In the middle, there's just like the basic backgrounds. So another thing I like to do is I like to come here. Let's look for that background that I'm using for reference for colors for the most part. You know, I color pick everything. So I think I have it in Research Unit of Force, obviously. Episodes, mini pilot, scenes, number 6. I don't know, I'm just using always this one. And I just bring in this drawing that I already worked on before, and I color pick whatever I need. For example, for the floor, I would color pick the floor, or maybe the shadow, the leaves, the sky, whatever, you know? I'm going to use that as reference. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring down the opacity for the blender background, and I'm just going to go to the floor. I'm going to choose black. I used to use a color that wasn't actually black before for my line work, but then it became a nightmare whenever I had to like work with more people and tell them like, hey, we need to use this particular black. They were like, why? I was like, yeah, that's a good question. Why am I not just using black? It's a great color, actually. I'm gonna use a different type of pen. Which one is it? Because this is a brush. I'm a bit rusty on Kratom, but I remember how to use it. So basically, usually when you can see these lines for the grid, that's to mark the rule of the threes or the thirds. Meaning that, for example, the horizon line kind of looks good if you have it somewhere that's closer to either 2/3 or 1/3 of the screen, you know? So basically, that's why the blender is also planned like that. So I can just grab this guy over here. And it doesn't need to be perfect, but I mean, ideally, it would be perfect anyway. So that's the line work for the floor. That's just going to separate the floor from the sky. So let's select this area over here and just drop in a bucket tool there or something. So let's see. Now we know that we're going to color that this color right here. So we can just brush it all the way. See? Now we just got the floor. Perfect, 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 perfect. All right. So now that we have the floor, we're going to add the trunks. I'm going to get rid of the floor for a while, and I'm going to start drawing the trunks. Now for the tree trunks, I haven't done line work really. I'm just coloring the shape of them. Makes it look even more cartoony. I'm trying to go for a stylus form of this that also helps me save time. I think that kind of like stuff helps. Makes it look more cartoony. Oops. Dude, I don't even know how to use the rotation tool. Why did I do that? View, rotation. I don't even know how to do rotation stuff. Dude, where's the freaking rotation stuff? I don't want it. Image. Reset. Rotate. Rotate it. But I want to reset the rotation, dude. It's not fair. I didn't mean to rotate anything. That's so unfair, dude. I don't even know how I did that. I've never done it before. So I'm just gonna have to deal with a slightly rotated canvas. That's so crazy. Okay, there's something here. There you go. Finally. Okay, now let's get zoom in. Yeah, I don't ever use a rotation tool, dude. Like I feel like I would use it more if I were on an iPad or something like that, but I'm on a computer with my canvas, so I can just rotate my canvas if I ever need something like that. Have I ever used that on an iPad? I don't think I've ever used rotation, but I can see the advantage of it there, at least. By the way, I'm not actually trying to like get the right shapes for these trees. I'm just getting an idea and then going really scratchy with it. Very simple. These are roots supposedly. I don't know if they feel like roots. I feel like a big trick about like making cartoony backgrounds is Try not to focus too much on details. Just try to get like the general idea. After all, I am drawing technically 66 backgrounds. So when you think about it, you go like, yeah, 66 backgrounds. We're fine if you don't pay attention to maximum detail. Like if you ever watch The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy or something like that, and you look at the backgrounds, you go like, hey, these are just ideas. These are not even actual backgrounds. I mean, sometimes they are if they need to like express like a they need to show a new location or whatever. But whenever they go like, oh, you know that we are the park, right? So I'm just gonna draw a couple squibbles. Be like, hey, that's a tree, and you go like, yeah, I believe you, but only because I'm enjoying the plot. So yeah, it's okay if you don't make perfect backgrounds for every shot. Honestly, it would be better if you could, but that means more time spent on the animation, more budget. We're not all made out of time or money. Some people are. Some people are literally made out of time. They are like time machine people. They're terrifying. If you ever like look into their eyes, like you will travel into a different dimension, and they will probably devour your soul. So never try the kind of person that's a time traveler in general. Be careful, or a demon. Okay, let's see how many tree trunks we got. We got a few. I think I can drop in one more over here. Okay. So now that I know where the tree trunks are because of the 3D, now you place one thing on top of the other and it looks pretty okay, pretty chill. Then the leaves, when I did the model, I just used 3D models that didn't have actual like bushy leaves or whatever you want to call it. So I don't even need that for reference because it doesn't even look like what I want it to look. So let's go over here. Let's go again with black with my trusty pen. Pen. There you go, pen. And I just make a bush on top of that, dude. It's like pretty simple. Not like this. It's not even complicated at all. Right? Not hard. Like anybody who has a Wacom tablet could do this. Anybody. Let's see. Then we pick the color for the leaves right here. It's like green, kind of bluish green. And then we just start using the brush to like fill that in. So let's see what we got. Boom, we got the trees. See, it looks pretty simple. Now, of course, the shading is what's going to make it look a little bit better, and the details and all that stuff, all that jazz. So what I'm going to do, first of all, for the floor, I'm going to add a shade or drop shadow from the trees. So the trees are basically, the light's coming from above going down, so we probably find some sort of a shape like this around here. Okay, we just color the whole floor. So now it's got a little bit more depth, you know, just a little bit depth. And now for the leaves, I also want to add some shadow coming from above. So I'm going to do something quite similar, but with the color of the shading for the tree leaves. So let's see. I just go randomly by instinct or intuition. Actually, I think I'm going to mirror the screen, see if like I can get it better from this side. Yeah, I think I'm going to get it better from here. So you never really know. The good thing is that if you ever make a mistake or it doesn't look nice, you can just redo it. Nothing is forever. We're all gonna die very soon. And then, I don't know, just a couple extra strokes, I guess, here and there to make it look a little bit more full. Something like that. For example, I don't like this one extremely much. I want to give it more of a curve over here. And here, definitely. That looks slightly better. Okay, so that's just the main idea of what the background looks like. Now for the background, for the sky, I mean, I've been doing a couple things. So I could just color pick here and start coloring the background, but actually I noticed that the sky ends up looking the same every single time. So there's been a few times that I've been cheeky and I've literally just taken the sky from the first shot of the episode and I just dropped it in. And see, there you go. Like it just looks the right color, but I can kind of move it because it's got like a whole gradient of colors. So it can go lighter or darker depending on like how close it is to like the top of this shot. And I think this one would be fine. See? And I didn't even have to like pull out my brushes again. I'm a time saver. I save time. So that's that. Okay, now as you can notice here, there's a lot of depth to the floor only because I've added some rugged textures to it and leaves. These are not even properly brushed, but you know, like if you just look at this and you're focusing on Calavera, like for example, that would be in shot number 9, I think. Oops. Probably this one or this one. Yeah, I think the background that you're looking at is this one. So if you're focusing on all the characters, you're not gonna go like, "Hey, those tiny little grassy thingies are ugly." No, I mean, you might say that, you can do that, you're allowed to, but you would usually be focused on the turtle or the little homunculus or the scientist and his scar. Why does he have a scar? What happened to him growing up? Did he cut himself with like a tuna can opener? Maybe, I don't know. And yeah, you wouldn't focus on those tiny things. So we're gonna spam the living crap out of that kind of behavior. Um, in this house, we do a lot of time savers like those. So I think I can just color pick the shadow, make it slightly bit darker. Go get one of those fancy brushes for textures that Krita offers for free. I feel like some of them I've downloaded them from a package, but we're also free. So all of this stuff is 100% doable if you have a PC. So I think I like the I think I like, which one was it? I kind of vary, honestly. I don't even use the same ones all the time. I think the one that I chose right now is one of the ones I use a lot for this. Yeah, probably. What's it called? It's called texture big. Yeah, whatever. So it just adds like a dirty little thingy, smoky thingy. Of course, don't overdo it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring the opacity a little bit lower, so that way when you color it, it doesn't just change or alter the entire thing, just a slight variation. And you can go harder on the lower sides. Actually, I didn't like that one. Let's do it again. Also more opacity. The way it has a little bit more consequence. Just start like spraying a little bit above. It's all subjective, honestly. The only thing that this does, because it doesn't make it look like better exactly, but it makes it look less uniform. Less uniform makes it look like something's going on, even though nothing really is. There's no thought to that. And then above that, I'm gonna add these like weird brushy thingies, which are automatic as well. Again, free. You don't need to pay for this. You don't need to make it yourself. You can make it yourself, I guess. There's ways to like make your own brushes. I never delved into that kind of stuff. But for now, I'm just gonna add a little bit of this, make it like look a little bit tastier. Makes it look a little bit more like an environment and less like a bunch of blocks with lines. It gives it like a surprising amount of depth. Especially if you make the grass thingy smaller over here and bigger over here, it makes it feel like you know, the closer you are, the bigger the grass looks. So like perspective, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I know you know what I mean. Okay, so it looks pretty good. I can save it and export it already almost. I think I'm just gonna pay some more attention to this tree trunk right here, which I didn't give any what do you call it, dude? I didn't give it any I didn't give it any roots, so I'm gonna give it a couple of them. It's gonna help it look better. And one thing I haven't been doing, but I could have, is maybe give the tree trunks also a little bit of gradient. So maybe I'm gonna do it for this time. So I'm gonna add another layer on top of that paint. I'm gonna make it alpha. Alpha means that you're just painting that layer below and nothing else. And maybe like give it some gradient, you know, like choose the same color, make it darker, and just paint the whole thing. For gradients, I like to paint the whole thing and then erase with a soft eraser. You could do the opposite and just paint with a soft brush, I guess. It's the same thing. See, that kind of adds even more depth to it. Like, I didn't do it for the other shots though, so I'm gonna go soft with it. Anything else you can add? You can. I mean, this is the part where you go like, hey, maybe I'll add like a mushroom here, a flower there. Um, yeah, it's really depends on how much detail you want to give it. I don't want to give it much for now. The good thing is that I still have the file, so if I ever want to change anything, I can just come back here and be like, yeah, let's add a flower here. So let's export it as scene 18 background, the PNG file, because Toon Boom and all software related to animation loves PNG files. So now we come back here. We come back to this node, the composite background. We're gonna import an image. You go to whichever folder it is. In my case, it is scene number 18. There it is. So we bring it over here. We should go to vector mode. That way we know what's happening here. It's cutting out anything outside the camera. So let's go here. So you cannot see it because for some reason Toon Boom likes grabbing new layers and placing them in pretty preposterous places. There should be a way to be like import here, bro. And there you go. The background is huge because the background is rendered in 4K and the animation in the end will be in 1080p full HD. So it looks pretty bizarrely big. I think I can just grab it and be like, hey, let's go and make it like 50% of your size. And that should be fine. Right? Yeah, okay. Now, this is what it looks rendered. It looks odd because of Sawin's cutout shape. That's another thing we're going to render in a couple minutes. And now it looks better. I mean, Zara makes sense in that environment. Let's make sure that she's well merged to that environment, though. So a thing that I've been doing a lot has been, like, for example, this composite would be the whole Zara. You know, the hood, the eyes, the face, whatever. It's got a bunch of pieces. She's a big node tree over here. But what am I going to do is I'm going to give it a filter. So I'm going to create another node here. I'm going to add a thing called gradient. Because this is what I said before. Gradients are cool when you work in Krita, Photoshop, Sketchbook Pro. Here it's really difficult, but in the end it's better because automation, right? So for the gradient, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do white above. And below, we're going to do a color that's reminiscent of that background. So the background you saw that was kind of like dark blue, purplish, maybe like this kind of. This is the kind of tone we're talking about. So we're going to use this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a blending tool to use that as a multiply layer on top of Zara. So let's go here, here, here. And there you go. Now you see that she's kind of like merged with the environment. Of course, that is too much darkness. You can always tweak that out a little bit. So what I would do is go to peg, grab that gradient, and move it a little bit lower. So like that. This is what I've been doing for all the characters. I mean, you wouldn't have to do this. It depends on the style. Many cartoons have their characters not affected at all by the environment. So let's see what it looks before and after. See? It's such a small tweak, but it gives her more volume and depth in the environment, especially. Yeah, still might be a little too much. You can always just grab a transparency node and make it like a little bit softer. So now it looks like before and after. See, it's such a small difference, but it makes it look better. Like this is like she's literally her natural palette, which is impossible in an environment like this. It's too dark. So this just gives a little bit more of that. It's a little bit more of an oomph. And the good thing is that, of course, it's automatic. So like every single frame that I've already animated in color painstakingly before is going to be affected by the same gradient. So that's awesome. Actually, I think I'm going to give it more color, maybe 33% transparency. There you go. Slight tweak. And now I think another important thing is going to be to add a drop shadow for her. So let's go with a new layer or drawing. Let's call this one Zara drop shadow. And it's going to be quite simple, actually. I'm just going to grab my circle tool or ellipse. Circles and ellipse. I'm just going to put it right here. Pretty lame, right? And paint it black. There you go. So now she has a drop shadow. Very cartoony one, of course. So we got to fix that. Ooh, I hate when that happens. Yeah, blending layers do this thing that whenever you're in the vector view, you don't get to see them in action. So if you go rendered or pre-rendered, then you can see it in action. But before it just looks without multiplying, it just looks like a layer. So you need to add a visibility node and make it invisible during the non-rendered version or the vector one. So now it looks like this. Okay. So now for the drop shadow, we might have to keyframe it because she's moving a little bit. Not a lot, but she's moving. See? Like by the beginning and the end, she's changed her location slightly. So we're gonna add a peg tool to that drop shadow. So probably when she does that, transition is gonna be the moment where we wanna change from one to the other. So maybe from here to here, right? Gotta make sure that those are the right frames. Or are they? Yeah. I would say that maybe even here you can get away with having the same one. Yeah, probably. Oh my, it's a really snappy animation. It's like, okay. No, it's, oh my God, it's immediate. It's like, boom, boom. It's snapping like a twig. Okay, so I'm just gonna move it. Actually, I'm gonna make it even also a little bit smaller. Oops, not like that. Like this. Okay, fine. So now here it's fine. Actually, should we also lower? There you go. And now we move it there. Ah, damn it. The pivot point is off. Fine. Here and here, I would say. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see if it works now. Actually, here it should also be more to the left. Ah, screw me. Just got really hot in here. I should turn the AC all the way up. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, now here and also a couple transitions from when she has her foot on the floor, maybe here and here. Yeah. So this is the one that's good. This is the one that should be more to the left, slightly. There you go. That sounds reasonable. And now let's see how it looks in action. Let me get rid of this guy and this guy. Oh, it didn't move. Oh, because there's more than one step. There's this step, but there's another step over here. Yeah, but they look similar to the ones that I already made. So let's bring this guy over here and paste it right here. And this guy over here and paste it right here. Uh-oh. Or should I? Here. And then the original pose is a completely new one, I think. Yeah. So we need one more keyframe for the shadow. This one. Probably a little bit more to the right. And that's it. Let me see that again. Actually, oh yeah. Just copy this guy here. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, I think that might work. Dun 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 dun. I think that might work. Okay, I'm gonna go get the AC because Jesus Christ, I'm suffocating in here. Dun dun. Yeah, works fine. Ugh. I'm suffocating because of the heat of the West, bro. Okay, I had the AC all the way up to like 84 because I was out for like an entire day. That way, save money on like electricity bill. Oh yes, air conditioning, and I was eating a pizza, so that kind of like makes every room like way hotter. Pizza. Um. Sorry, still had another slice of pizza here. I was kind of looking at it like, yeah, I'm not gonna eat during the stream, but the pizza looked so tasty that I was like, yeah, screw it, fine. I'm only human after all. Then put your blame on me. Although the audio's gotta be like really nasty. I'm really sorry for that. I got hungry. So let's keep going. Okay, so now that looks fine. Obviously, a black drop shadow is awesome. I'm not complaining about it, but as you can already see, the background has like a bluish one, right? So it would not make sense for this one to be so hardcore black and everything else to be like just smooth. So we're gonna give it a few changes. I like animating in blacks and whites and stuff like that. Makes it pretty simple while you're doing it. But now, with the power of compositing and technology, I'm gonna make it blue like the background. So I would say then maybe a matte would be good. So matte blur is gonna be to change the color, and the color is gonna be like that, like pretty much bluish. Still doesn't look right, right? It does not. So we need to add a blending layer, which is usually called what's it called here? Oh yeah, blending, right? Yeah, yeah. I meant multiply layer, which is called blending actually. Blend mode multiply. See, that's starting to get closer and closer. And now maybe just make the matte blur a little bit more accurate. Maybe make it lighter, grayer, and bluer. Huh. It's almost a match. It wouldn't even have to match perfectly, but you know, now it's coherent with the environment, and the environment is important. Yeah, that looks pretty good, although maybe the circle's too perfect, so maybe I would add a Gaussian blur, which finally, like this one says matte blur, and it does not do the blur thing, but blur Gaussian does what you would think it would, which is just make it like blurry. So maybe add a 1, see, there you go. It's not, now it's not a perfect circle anymore. Maybe make it even a 2, oh, 21 would be too much. A 2, a 2 might be too much, it's too like, ugh, looks dirty. One was fine, okay. Okay, now let's see the power of my CPU rendering stuff, because before I remember rendering full HD and it would take like a day, and now it's like brrr, it's like speed running the render. It's fucking amazing. I love it how fast it renders. 2D is incredible. It's insane. Because I think I said it before. Tumu Harmony only works on CPU. It does not use the GPU at all for rendering, which is bothersome because my GPU would have been able to do it, but it could only accept CPU, so now it can. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. See, she looks fine. Let's zoom on her and be like, yeah, she works with the environment. There's a couple leaves over here that are kind of like distracting because of the fact that they're kind of both in front and below her. Huh. That can be tweaked. Honestly, I wouldn't. Like the only reason why I'm mentioning it is because like there's people watching me and I'm kind of self-conscious about that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I feel like it's barely noticeable. But honestly, yeah, if you had to be like really conscious of those details, you would be like, hey, this leaf layer, maybe either cut it, delete it, or place it above her foot. Otherwise, you can see that her foot's like above it, and then it feels like it should be behind it, you know? Uh-huh. So there's options. We'll see what we do. We might change that in the end of the video, but for now, I think I'm going to focus more on this absolute massive unit, which is Samhain. Okay, now for Samhain, we can do it one of two ways. We can illustrate that like PNG file here in Krita, if you're more comfortable with illustration. The reason I'm going to use Tumu Harmony, especially because of the eyes. Like I already have the eyes ready here. So I think I'm just going to use the software. Although you can just take the eyes to Crit, I guess. Yeah. But the reason why I'm thinking about it that way is because I'm not going to animate him at all. He's just going to be a still thing. So let's get started on that. So here we have got Samhain. We're going to make him transparent because this is just temporary. Oh, this thing moving? Don't move. And we can just stay on frame 1. We don't need to animate anything else. So let's go. Samhain transparency all the way up. And let's start bringing ASDFs, which are just drawings. So maybe let's see how many drawings do we need. Do we need even more than one? I think only for the eyes, I would separate them. So maybe let's go with body. And then or two for the eyes. We already have them here in assets. Samhain iris. So let's go with Samhain iris. Oh, yeah. The Samhain's iris are the most complicated ones, especially because they glow, basically. Let's see what they look like over here. Oh, yeah, we need the background to see them better. Yeah, see, they're like a big red bright star, basically. His eyes are beautiful, but they are CPU intensive when you render them. So let's make a couple of those, one here and one here. So that would be Samhain iris left and Samhain iris right. Ah, I have two of them and they're gonna burn my face. They're pretty hot. They're pretty hot eyes. Yeah, they burn hot. So we can think of those in the end. For now, let's just go white background or a canvas and just draw him, dude. Okay. I just grabbed my pen after a few minutes of not drawing anything. I'm gonna take another bite of my pizza. I'm sorry. It's just so good. Sorry. Damn it, dude. It's really good. Pizza is just I don't know who came up with the idea, but man, kudos to the guy. Okay, let's go. By the way, guys, how are you doing, man? Like I've seen that Dragon Joe missed the guy in case he joined. You have been kind of silent. Maybe you're busy. That's cool. That's cool. I'm gonna look a little bit at the gram. This is not the gram. This is a Twitter. Or sorry, it's not even Twitter anymore. Now it's called X. I forget that times have changed in a very bizarre way. Yeah. Oh, the duck. I remember that duck. He was asking if there were any grapes. Man, I hope he got his grapes. Hmm. This almost looks like something that I remember, but I've never seen it before. I know it's new because it's from a contest. Uh, if you ever feel useless, just remember that Bikini Bottom has a fire department. And yeah, there's like a fire every 5 episodes. Yeah, that's not useless. I hate these meme pages because I don't know, man. They're just thoughtless machines. They just pour out memes with no purpose at all, dude. I've noticed that they also like do like weird ads for accounts, whether they're like commentators or they're OnlyFanners or whatever you want to call it, dude. Like they're just like ad machines at this point. It's a weird evolution from going from meme posting to like doing ads for other guys who pay them basically like $20 or something like that. Value Online has morphed into like weird ways. Hey, the duck. I love the duck. No, not busy. Just don't know what to write. I am good, by the way. How about you? Oh, Dragon Joe, I'm doing good, bro. I'm kind of tired. I've been working a lot of like night shifts, and they mess up my brain a lot. Like right now, I'm feeling laggy, dude. Like I am lagging. I myself am lagging. Not my computer. I am the one lagging because I worked from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Then I took a nap until like 11:30. Had a pizza, and I'm drawing right now, trying to make my morning productive. But I feel like the day is already ruined forever. Like this is not gonna be a day where I feel good, and that sucks. But I got tomorrow and the next day, so I feel like tomorrow is gonna be an awesome day. Though I'm gonna wake up early, I'm gonna hit the gym, and I'm gonna start, like animating stuff. Because as I said before, I pretty much animated everything, but I still got some shots left to do. So I should not let those just stay there. I gotta work on them now. Okay, so I'm just randomly drawing Samhain really quick. As I said before, I could be more attentive to details, but I'm trying to be fast. Ah, fetch. I was so fast that I drew those lines in the wrong layer. I gotta draw them into the new one I made here. Okay, so you gotta be fast, but you also gotta be careful. Almost wasted a lot of time there. I don't even know why he's so like out of shot, out of frame in this shot. Maybe that was the intention to be like he's so massively big that you can't even fit him into the frame. Or maybe I'm just not a good like art director. It was like, yeah, this looks fine, but honestly, it looks kind of goofy now that I see it again. I can always just size him down a little bit to fit in the frame. Because when I was storyboarding, I remember that I had like a reason for most stuff. But this now I'm looking at it, maybe it was just a mistake. I also make mistakes sometimes. Not everything was thought out. I want to believe that maybe there was a purpose for him being out of frame. Like I want to be like, no, I'm not. I don't make mistakes. Maybe this was like poetic. There was a poetic reason behind it. There's like a metaphor. Nah, maybe there's not. Maybe I'm just didn't realize how weird he looks. Let's look at the whole thing. I don't know. Kind of works because of how big he is, but I don't know if that was even my intention at first. Probably wasn't. Let's see. Ba. Yeah. Here, there. I never know what to do with this part of here because technically you should be able to look at these lines, but they should be really thin, not that thick. Not this thick, dude. And this guy comes over here. Also, I gotta make like a better 3D model for Samhain. I feel like the one that I already have is not perfect. It never looks like the cartoons. It does add some consistency though, but I feel like I'm gonna need an updated version that's better for like more purposes. Okay, let's keep going with the head. As I said before, I'm just gonna do one drawing for Samhain, so I'm not gonna do it multi-layer, except for the eyes. So we just go with the final version of Samhain right here. This is it. This is the Samhain. Oh, my little boy, Samhain. How much you've grown. King of Halloween. Also king of eating cattle. Okay, that looks fine. Let's see if I can get rid of this guy over here and start cutting a little bit. Bow, 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 bow. Down, 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 down. Okay, one more for this guy. His face looks more like a tangerine or an orange than an actual pumpkin, I think. Just because of how much I pay attention to those slices. Man, it's making me feel hungry. I feel like eating an orange right now. Halloween orange. Oh no, this would be the opposite, right? Like that, and maybe oh the crown. Bum 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 bum. I'm just drawing one frame for the big boy. I think yeah, that's almost done. I think I need to add like a over here. Maybe I'm gonna add another prong to the helmet and be like this. Actually, make it more straight lined, like that. That way, I can color this part black so it looks like a deep thing, deep piece of metal. And also here, this will be the shoulder pad. I think yes, it is. And add the what do you call these? What is that called? I forgot. It's the spikes. It's called a spike, dude. Not even a hard word or anything. Just forgot what the concept was even. Like, why does he have spikes on his shoulder blades? Maybe they're just to make him look punk. He goes like, yeah, they're not functional. They're just to make me look edgy as shit when I go to concerts, and it works, dude. Looks pretty edgy. Okay, let's see. Now we get rid of this guy and we do the mirror test. See if it looks fine. It does look fine. Okay, now let's add the eyes. So now for the eyes, yeah, let's do a couple circles like these ones. One here and one here. Oops, and one here. Okay, now that we have the eyes, we also have to do the, you know, the epic mascara thing he's got going on. Yeah, I never knew what the mascara thing is. I don't. He's probably not wearing makeup himself, but I don't know what it is. I just remember drawing it a while ago when I was a kid, dude. I was like 12 years old when I drew that one for the first time, probably. And I remember just giving him like this edgy look with the eyes. It was probably because back in that era, the Joker was really popular, the Heath Ledger version of the Joker, I mean. So when I made a pumpkin character, I was like, yeah, just give him like weird, like raccoon eyes, but like crazy. It almost feel like glam rock type of mascara. And to this day, I don't know what it is because I've seen pumpkins. They don't usually have they don't have makeup or whatever this would be. So it's still a mystery to me, like what that is. I just know that I need it. It's a part of like Samhain. You thought they were cracks, maybe exactly. That's the thing. Like they were never meant to be anything in particular. They were meant just to give him edge. But I still don't know what they are. Cracks. I don't know. Like I don't know. There's gonna be a moment where you're gonna have to decide what the lore is behind the cracks or the eye bags or whatever you want to call it. But right now, I'm telling you, I don't know what it is. It just is. You just accept it or don't. You don't have to accept everything. It's given to you. You can be like, I decide to ignore the eye bags or the dark circles be around his eyes. That's fine. But it's a mystery to me. It's getting so they're inconsistent. They kind of change shapes from shot to shot, which is fine. Or is it? Okay, like this, like this, like this, and taka taka tan, taka taka tan. Which is funny because I feel like all of my characters have some sort of level of eye bags. I mean, definitely Calavera. Zara sometimes has like a smoky look to her. Freya might be the one with the least eye bags added to her in general. And Homunculus also has like a small like drop shadow from the eyes always. Okay, let's see what it looks like when I add these buckets. Boom, 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 boom. There you go. I'm not minding much like the layer organization because I know that he's just gonna be one drawing. Speaking of, I always thought they were cracks. Yeah, they might be cracks. Speaking of Heath Ledger Joker, as a child, I did not like his version of the Joker. Nowadays, I think he's a great Joker. I mean, he's literally like the. I mean, he's such a simple character compared to other Jokers when you think about it because he's so human or real or realistic. I mean, but at the same time, he's like really the outlier of the Joker. So he almost kind of destroys what the canon makes the Joker out to be. But yeah, I think that if you're a huge fan of like the more traditional Batmans, that Joker is kind of like a hard pill to swallow. In fact, he was a hard pill to swallow back then. Like people were surprised by how interesting he was, but many people went into the cinema being like, "This is not the Joker. What is this? What is this freak doing?" And yeah, I think that's a fair response. He's not the Joker. He is a Joker, I would say. Because if you watch Mark Hamill's Joker in a cartoon movie or whatever, you go like, "Yeah, that's the Joker." Like, there's no, there's no question about it. But that one, yeah, especially at first, I guess. As you have pepperoni. One more bite. One more bite. Sorry. Um, the fun thing about pizza is that it still tastes good even when it gets cold. Mm. I'm sorry for eating into the mic. I shouldn't do that. It's really nasty. Sorry. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Heath Ledger, Jack Nicholson, and Mark Hamill are the Jokers. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Those are the three most popular ones. I would say that Heath Ledger, even though he's like the least Joker-like of them, he might be the more popular because of the general population. Like I feel like not everybody's a fan of the Batman, but many people are fans of the Dark Knight trilogy because that movie was like straight up mainstream, dude. The Batman is always going to be like really popular, but the Dark Knight is even more popular than the Batman is. Surprisingly enough, it should be the opposite. But yeah, like even if you ask people that are not, because let's be real, everybody in here is a nerd. We're nerds, so we kind of delve into like media and content like crazy. But people who are not nerds, they go like, I've never even seen a comic book in person. Like I don't believe they're real. Like those kind of people would be like, oh yeah, dude, like I totally watched like The Dark Knight, bro, with my bros. Like we were drinking and we stayed up all night. So more it's more palatable to everybody. Like if even if you just watch the Super Bowl, you go like, yeah, let's watch The Dark Knight right after that. So, but us nerds, we go like, yeah, The Dark Knight is fine, but that's not the Batman that we know and love. The Batman that we know and love is more like in the comic books, like the animated series, even the game. I think the game, like the Dark Knight, what do you call it, dude? The Arkham trilogy. They're also not accurate, but they kind of are the happy medium between the Dark Knight trilogy and the comic books or the TV show. Even I would say it's more of a medium between the animated series and that movie. Like it gets gritty, it gets somewhat realistic with his violence, but it really follows the canon of the cartoons of the characters how they are presented in the cartoon version. In the cartoon version, people go like, "Yeah, it's not the comic book, but fuck, it's good," you know. Like we respect that. I feel like the animated series canon, people like it a lot. Like the Mr. Freeze that wants to save his wife Nora. You know, that was originated in the cartoons. Surprisingly enough, not in the comic books. Harley Quinn, man, we love Harley Quinn. She's a cartoon character. She's not from the comic books originally. So long live the animated series because it gave Batman new life and new meaning. And Harley Quinn. I love Harley Quinn. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so now we got the pumpkin boy right here. He's got his eyes. Let's give him his nose, which totally makes him look like a skeleton more like than a pumpkin. But you know, skeletons, pumpkins. What's the difference? The same thing. They're just spooky creatures. So let's go boom, 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 and just the beginning of a smile. I like that's the thing about Sam's smile. Like even if he's like out of shot, like you get to see like the beginning of a grin at least. Always, he's such a happy-go-lucky guy. He's always probably like helping out his friends, being nice and kind and polite. That's why he smiles so much because he's a happy fellow, right? So he's a smiley boy. He's smiling all the time. Yep, 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 yep. No, I don't even know what's going on here, so I'm gonna get rid of this guy. Be like, who do we want to help more? The smiler or the shape of the skull? Huh. Shape of the skull. You gotta make a choice. Okay. And again. Oh no, actually, you know what? Black for those parts does not look good. Because for the hollow of the skull, I always use like a dark gray. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, what's gonna be weird is that this spike is kind of overlapping with Zara. I don't know if that's gonna be bad. Huh. Might be. Let's try to like extrapolate this guy over here. It's kind of interrupting her motion. I don't like that. Why did I do that? Ugh. Okay. It's got an easy solution though. I can just add the peg tool and be like, hey, Samhain, can you move a little bit to the left, dude? You're interrupting the animation. I didn't realize that before. Uh-huh. Okay, so maybe like bring him a tiny little bit to the left. Just a tiny little bit so that you can let Zara do her thing, please. Yeah. Still kind of like at the border, like they're almost touching. Huh. Regardless. Now that that's done, let's go get the eyes. Boom. And boom. And oh shoot, like they're so bright, dude. Is there a way for me to make them look a different way? This is so difficult to animate, dude. Never thought about it. Mm, I don't know. Maybe just deal with it. Whatever. Who cares? So let's go with the first one. Let's make it tiny, 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 tiny. What the hell happened there, dude? Well, what is going on? I'm so confused right now. I feel like I have made something invisible that was wrong. Oh, I remember it now. It's because it's multi-layer. It's got a line work and a color layer. Oh, you goofy person. You don't know what you're doing. I need to go and select all layers. Okay. Now we can move it and there you go. And why does it have a line work? It doesn't need a line work. So if this one is the left one, it's gonna be a little bit more like this. There you go. Maybe a little bit smaller than that. A little bit bigger than that. Smaller than that. I say that looks fine. Yeah, look at him, so cute. And let's go with the other one. Actually, I think I'm just gonna select this drawing and get rid of it entirely and copy paste the one from here. It's gonna make it easier to be like, hey, they're the same size. And this one's gotta be a little bit like thinner though. And now I cannot see anything, so let's bring back the background. Let's see if that helps a little bit. Oh, it does. He looks so cute like that. It's ridiculous how he looks. And what if I render this? Ah, he's just got a couple lanterns. Okay, we gotta fix that. We gotta add color to his eyes. So now the body, we're gonna make it line work, obviously. And we're also gonna add the color layer. And I think that we're gonna add one more, which is gonna be the hollowness of the skull. So let's add an underlay layer. Not likely the DC movies, game show, or comic book is 100% valid in my opinion. You don't have to like everything they make. Oh, of course, yeah. Of course, we don't have to like everything. But yeah, no, it's all good. It's all Batman, dude. As long as there's a guy dressed as a bat and a clown, wreaking havoc, we like it. We can like it better or worse, but it's got the fundamentals. Um, okay, now let's start coloring this guy. Let's see if I already have him here. We got Zara full and Samhain full, so yeah, we have him. So let's start with maybe the skin. Well, he doesn't have skin per se. What would you call the? And actually, you call it skin as well, right? The skin of a banana, would you call it? I don't know. Oh, actually, you know what? I shouldn't be coloring it yet. I forgot to make a very important step, which is shading. So let's go to line work. Let's go to shading lines and make this visible again. That way we can see Zara and her spectacular shading lines. Yay, shaded. And let's do the same thing for our boy Samhain over here. I forgot to do that. Bam, bam, ba, ba, bam, ba, 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 bam. So we go to the big boy Samhain and we think, let's think, how would the shading affect him in this position right here? Because if I'm not wrong, for Zara, the lighted source is coming from up and a little bit left, like this. This is the flow of the lighting. So for Samhain, it would be kind of the same. So I would say that this part would be lit, this part would be shaded, and this part would be shaded by the helmet. So maybe I'm gonna draw one line right here to make that distinction between the part that's like lit and the not. So everything to the left down here would not be shaded. And then of course, someone's being attacked, not attacked, but like covered by the shading of the helmet. So maybe like this. And then of course add a shading for his own contour. He himself has some shading over here, separate to whatever the helmet is doing. And maybe maybe that's it. Pretty simple shading for this guy. So now we go to colors. Yay. Let's bring in the colors again. Go to Samhain full, and now for the skin, we have two colors. We have one where he's lit up, just right here. And the other one where he is covered by darkness, would be the shade. There you go. Darkness, darkness, darkness. And then the vine would be all covered in darkness, so we go with shaded version of it. The suit is black in the helmet, I think, so we go with black. But there's the part that's covered in darkness, so darkness, darkness, darkness. It's all darkness. And the background is going to be just straight up black. Over here. Black, 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 black. There you go. That makes kind of some sense. As we said before, for these guys, the spike would be white and white. And I think I'm missing a little bit of detail here, so I'm going to add this color over here. Oops. Should be in the line work. Uh-oh. What did I do? Let's try that again. One more time. Yep. Yeah, that's what I wanted. And let's go back to coloring. Now we got a suit color orange, which is slightly more yellow than the skin. And the suit black would be here, I guess. And then, yeah, we did the spikes, so I think they're done. And now for these two parts over here, oh, there's a tiny gap here. Skin. Perfect. And for the eyes, I'm gonna add like a hollow color, but in the underlay, not in the color layer. Because I'm gonna do some work with that. Underlay layer, bring it over here. Boom, 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 and boom, 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 boom. And I need to cut. Oh, there's a couple of these laying around. Now the line work here, we just get rid of that. Okay, now he looks like this. What's going on with the eyes? The eyes are acting crazy. Let's bring this guy here and this guy here. Yeah, something's wrong with the eyes. I feel like they're not okay. I'm gonna delete them entirely just in case something went wrong with them. Because that's totally what it looks like. It looks like something went wrong with them. Okay, this one looks better. Let's see if I can make it like look normal. This one has the right intensity. Yeah, that's the level of intensity it should have had from the start. Now, this is a cool thing. Like, you can see that now the light of the lanterns only affects the hollow area. This is something I like to do with Samhain. Like, if at any point his eyes got bigger for whatever reason, I don't want the light to affect the skin, but I do want you to be able to like see the effects of the fire in the smile, for example. I think that's pretty cool. Personally, that's my own taste. Okay, the eyes are looking blurry as shit. Sorry for saying shit, but they are looking crazy blurry. I feel like okay, I think I know why it is. Yeah. I think I know what it is. It's because these eyes were thought to be at that size, and I think you have to work with the pegs that I gave him. So it's got a couple pegs right here, right? So maybe that's why. I hope it is. I mean, I've done his eyes smaller before, so I don't know why this is happening right now, but let's give that a try. Oh yeah, it's already looking better. Yeah, maybe if you want to go small, you just gotta make sure that you transform everything, including the glows. I think that's the thing. The glows were kind of doing their own thing. Yeah. Oh, Samhain. Yeah, he looks cute. Yeah, that's the one eye. And now let's go with the other one. Brr, 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 brr. Here. There you go. So bright. It's crazy how bright his eyes are. Make it way smaller. Dude. Yeah, this seems to be working just fine. Whoa, it's big. Okay, now let's do the mirror thingy. Yeah, his eyes are a little bit too like out there. They have to be both smaller and more to the inside of the character at least. That helps a little bit. And this guy's also gonna help. Maybe more over here. I think that works a little bit better. It does. And let's render the whole thing with the background and let's see what it looks like so far. Okay, now I gotta get rid of the color for the line work shader. Uh-oh, made a mistake. Wrong one. A little bit better. It's looking better and better. The reason why Samhain looks so weird is because he's really close to the camera and his line work is kind of merging with the background. That's because I didn't add the thick line work. So Samhain definitely needs it. He's in desperate need of it, actually. He looks super weird with such like thin line work. So let's add a matte blur and matte resize. Those are my two favorite tools. Boom, boom, boom. Let's make it black and thicker. One, maybe even like a two. He's really close to the camera. The closer you get to the camera, the more like thickness you can add without it looking weird. But it does look weird though. So maybe I did go too far. Let's go with 1.5. Yeah, it's a happy intermediate. And let's render that. Let's see how it looks in motion. Maybe it looks bad. If it looks bad, we gotta tweak it. I think it's gonna be just fine. My back hurts. Oh, the eyes might disappear. Sound's eyes might disappear. I didn't focus on the. Oh no, they didn't. So let's see it again. Done. Oh, you know what did disappear though? The shadow below Zara. What happened to it? I don't remember like doing anything to it. Oh, I did delete. I did make everything invisible for a while there. Oh, you know what looks weird about Samhain is that Zara is merged with the background because of the gradient, but Samhain isn't. So maybe add one of those gradients. You can even use the same one, I think. Let's try adding the same one to Samhain. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, it kind of works actually. I still think that he's kind of interrupting Zara's animation though. That kind of pisses me off. She's supposed to be the main focus of the shot, even though she's more in the background than the foreground. But he's like just straight up covering her, so that's not bueno. So let's see what we can do. We can either move Samhain to the left or Zara to the right. I think it's gonna be easier to move Samhain more to the left. So Samhain, come on, we're moving. Oh, oh man. Yeah. Okay, now we move the whole character more to the left, just a tiny little bit. Oh shoot, I just made a motion for the eyes. I didn't want to do that. Where are the eyes? Oh, all the way up here. So now we're gonna take this guy over there. Let's get over here as well. And once we're here, move him just a little bit more to the left. Okay, it looks a little bit better. Gives more attention to her animation. Let's render that one more time. I'm gonna eat a little bit more pizza, drink a little bit more Dr. Pepper, and move to After Effects. Oh yeah. I think that looks just fine, dude. That's like a rendered version of the thing. I like it. Okay, so now we go File, Save, Export, Render Right Nodes. We render it to the final project. Another scene finished. This is what I mean with like rendering is surprisingly fast. Like if you already have done the main animation, coloring stuff, drawing static pictures in the backgrounds themselves, you can spend like legit like 2 hours doing compositing and stuff like that. If everything else has been done, of course. Animation itself is what really takes long. Obviously, like I know I'm saying something that sounds obvious, but at the same time, I'm pretty surprised at like just how different it is to do one thing than it is to do the other. Yeah, so let's see. It was scene 18. So come here, we reload footage. See what it looks like. It's right here. Boom. Boom. Awesome. Now we got the next one, which would be Zara walking up the stairs. That was gonna be kind of hard, even though it's already animated. Like the hardest part was animating her, obviously. But you know, I gotta give her shading and all this stuff. So that one might actually take a while. But as I said before, I kind of want to see Freya in action already. So let's go and do this one. Shot number, what is it? Number 23. Okay, okay, okay. So it's gonna save this one more time. And we're gonna open shot number 23. Only because I want to see Freya's golden hair in action. I still don't have a single shot with her like animated in full color. So let's do this one. Might as well get started with one. Now she's She's a tough one to animate every single time I do her because, I think I mentioned it before, she's really cold and calculating. So she can't do snappy motions. Like if you look at Zara, Zara's got a couple of those motions where she just goes like in 2 frames, she's in the next position. Like here, I think like see this one. This is madness. Nobody moves like that, especially not people that are cold and calculated and in control. You know, Zara clearly is pretty explosive, just like Calavera is. But Freya isn't, so she has to do like even if this is post A and this is post B, this is all the stuff that has to go in between for her to get there. That's a bunch of drawings, and each drawing needs its own shading. Don't they, Freya? You arrogant piece of beautiful woman. She makes my life harder, but I like her looking like she's in control, moving slowly. So she even goes like, she's kind of nagging people, and she's still like chill. Always the two of you, like she's kind of disciplined that way. She's in control of her emotions, I guess. That's what I mean. So let's start with getting rid of the background, first of all. It's going to be annoying for the actual animation. Then I think it's going to be easier to... Ooh, she looks bald. And it's going to be easier to start with the body. Oh, this is not the body. I didn't place the body separate to everything else. I should have. Okay, let's get rid of these guys. Bring this guy back. Make these guys invisible for a while. Invisible, 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 invisible. Okay, so let's work on the torso. Now, gonna make kind of a simple shading. Let's go to colors. We go to default. Default's fine. We add a new one called a shader, and we just make it color pinkish. I like pinkish for some reason for shading. Makes no sense. And basically, just start like drawing her silhouette for the shadow, kind of. Now the question is the shadow gonna be coming from left or right? That's actually a good question. Let's see for context what's going on here. Let's see for context. I think the best one for context would be the one where I did color her, but she's not animated. It should be somewhere around here. Oh my god. Should zoom out. Yeah, this is the one they would use for context. Okay, so if you look at her from the back, the shadow's coming from the left. So the lighting's coming from the right. So if you look at her from here, the lighting should be coming from the left. So the shading would be to the right. Okay, got it. So basically, I'm just gonna go start doing it, dude. It's pretty well. I just kind of go without knowing what's gonna happen. I'm just a confident guy that way, I guess. There. There. That's a little bit more of a go. Doom, 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 doom. Let's go. Bra, 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 bra. Dun, dun. This would be shaded, and this guy over here would have a little bit of a highlight over here. Let's see. This is at least what I had in mind. Let's see, like this, like this, like this. Bra. Sounds reasonable. Now for the other arm, kind of the same. Kind of gotta give her a little bit of a muscle. So it looks like she works out because she does. Probably not as much as Zara, but she works out a lot as well. This one's definitely got to be shaded over here. And now drop shadow from the thingy, right? Done. And the arm also needs a little bit more of a drop of a shader here. There you go. here, here. I think that's it for now. The reason why I'm not shading the face or the head, the neck a little bit better is because I know that there's going to be a drop shadow for the head. Anyway, now this is the part where you want to decide whether you or not you're going to like go crazy. You could also shade like all the golden inlays for her character. You could, but you know, you just saw how many frames I have to work on. Like I could do that, but Jesus Christ, it's gonna be too much work. So I ain't gonna do it. Okay. Now, by the way, why are these two frames the same one, dude? What is going on? They're literally the same one. I think I'm gonna get rid of this one and just like why do I have a new drawing if it's the same one? Keep the same one. Okay, something else is something dark is going on here. Oh, so because the neck is moving. Okay, that's gonna suck. I'm gonna have to copy the same lines? How? Oh shit. No, that kind of like ruins everything now. I don't know how to fix this now. Because if I copy these lines, they're gonna like omit these kind of like chunky thingies over here. I'm gonna have to do the whole shading again. My God, why did that happen? I hate when that kind of stuff happens. Like it's a small detail, but it's gonna make me waste time either way. No, I didn't want to do that. It's literally 3 frames where the body's basically the same. The only thing moving is the neck. That's why multi-layer animation is better sometimes. Right now, it just bit me in the ass. Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna remember what I did before. I'm just gonna get rid of all the shading again, I guess. Because screw me. Okay, so I just worked for a couple minutes for nothing, basically. But now I can do it all again in the overlay layer, which would have probably been the smart choice in the first place. Whatever. Now we get to do it again. Maybe do it even better. Nope. See, now I'm already starting with the wrong foot. Or I'm already doing a worse job than before. Man. Like this. There you go. Actually, I'm already getting tired of talking, so I'm probably going to just play music in the background. Let's go do that. Let's go find music. Music, music, music. Hey, duck with a grape. I love the duck with the grape. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Let me find like what do you call these? I forgot the name. Royalty free music. But I want it to be like yeah, retrowave or lo-fi jazz. Those two sound good. Sci-fi synthwave. Let's see if you can hear it. You cannot. A couple things. There we go. Oh yes, very relaxing, very soothing. So I can listen to the music while I like do my thing. Right down. Oh yeah, it's very relaxing. Marron. Yeah, actually, this one's actually being kind of a difficult one to like shade because the frames are really far apart, so I can't even use it on skin. Yeah, fortunately they're just keyframes anyway, so I kind of like already know what each of them look like, so we're fine for now. But you know, like that would have been a complication in general. But there's some keyframes anyway, so. So we have the two keyframes already shaded. They barely move anyway. So let's see what it looks like so far.
Always the two of them.
So I'm only shading the keyframes, obviously.
Always the two of them.
Right, so probably maybe somewhere here. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 frames in between, so probably like a 6 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in between, and we go with 6 to the left, 6 to the right. This is pretty easy to like shade, right? Isn't it? I don't think it is, but whatever. Let's give it a try. Oh my gosh, this is so confusing though. The music is a bit loud? Yes. Let's turn on the music then. To half. Thanks, Mr. Guy, for the input. Can't really hear you. I mean, to be fair, I was also talking quite low. But no, yeah, the music might have been a bit too also a little bit too futuristic in my opinion. It's like dangerously dystopic. shot in particular is not going to be as trivial as I thought. As usual, Free is making my life a little bit more difficult than it has to be. But I need her to be the badass, the stoneful badass she is, so it's totally worth it. Some vector tricks to basically reuse the same line look from before. And it kind of works actually. But yeah, everything other than that's gonna have to be like actually between properly with my own brain and thoughts and whatnot. So we got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 5 frames in between. Okay, that helps. And from here we got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we got 4 only. 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably did one more time the whole like shifting the line work to a little bit more to the left. Yeah, these three ones work actually. Very little motions. Yeah, it's so cute. It's very well animated for how to use a vector trick. Vector tricks usually don't do the trick, yeah. But they kind of did this time. So wonderful. Wunderbar. That's a little bit better. Doable. Doable is good enough sometimes. So now we got 1, 2, 3, and boom. Go to the next one. 1, 2, 3, boom. 1, 2, 3, boom. Okay, so now this one in the middle is the one that we're gonna do the in between of. Then use 2 distance. Now, I have a question. Can I make the dark line work a little bit more, less distracting? It's kind of distracting. Let's see if we can do that. I think we can separate this guy, torso, and separate line work and overlay. Like line art over here, and overlay over here. I'm doing the shading and the overlay only because I want the line art to be a little bit less opaque to distract my drawing. Let's see if I can do like green at 66. Does that work? You got 75. I don't think it works, but let's roll with it for a couple minutes, see if it's helpful at all. So it's like all super line here. It's not as right. This one's become less easy to shade. Like this.
actually, yes, it's helping me reduce distraction. Like if you just go between the two colors that are quite visible, then you just focus on the shading, so that it is helping actually. I thought it wasn't gonna, but it is. It's gotta be a better way to shade than this one. I feel like this is the wrong one. It's gonna work for today, but I don't feel like it's the right way to shade anyway. Call it a hunch. Dude, I could have saved so many trouble. I could have saved myself from so much work by just making the animation not shaded or not 100% shaded. But no, I had to make the big. It had to be the big guy, huh? I had to be the guy who shaded every single shot, huh? Well, now look at me. Wow, I'm suffering. I'm in pain. I don't want to shade so much. Let's see. Now what's going on here? This gap. They're like a slit, right? I gotta go like this. Forgot about this guy. Yeah, there you go. A little bit better. Let's see how it looks so far. So, here makes sense. Here makes sense. I think we're all good. So we go with the actual in-betweens, the ones. Yeah. And actually, this method is kind of helping shape a little bit. In fact, you only have to focus on the thicker lines. Helps a little bit. Merging it with the final output next for next hour, the rush hour. The good thing, even though this takes a while, it's like a lot more mindless than actual animating. Like actual frame by frame animation is so mentally taxing that this feels easy in comparison, and it is not easy. But what it means is that I've already gone through hell, so now this is just basically purgatory at this point. Like yeah, it's taking a while, it's kind of stressful, but I've gone through so much worse that this is fine. This is fine. Cleanup and coloring are relatively sweet gigs. When you're animating, usually you go through a lot of stress, especially if like it's your first time animating something. Probably after like years of experience, you go like, oh, I've done this before, so I already know how to. So you go into like autopilot mode, I guess. But since I'm a new guy to this, the first full pilot I've worked on, it's kind of stressful being like, oh, how do I even make this happen? How do I make this piece of cloth move like a piece of cloth? Or how do I make this person move their bones as if they were walking up the stairs, whatever. So maybe since I'm so new to everything feels stressful, but maybe next time it's gonna be less stressful. So I don't know. shading and coloring, making backgrounds feels easy. Easier. As demonstrated by this shading. It's not as trivial as I thought it was going to be. What's going on here? Oh, I know what it's going on. This should be a little bit lower. Right here. Maybe just merge it here. Nope, this isn't right. I don't care. Use it later. The last motion's almost done. But the first motion's the one that still needs work. Let's see what it looks like so far.
Always the two of you.
Yeah, there's a weird motion over here in the shoulder going on. I don't like it.
Always the two of you.
Dude, it was not smooth. Which is the one that's wrong with it? Oh, like this is growing. Well, that should be fine, but it doesn't look fine though. Why doesn't it? I feel like it's because of this frame not even knowing what it's doing so far. Okay, bye, Bizet guy. It's fun having you here for a while. Let's see here. Dude, shading can be hard sometimes. I don't even know what's going on with the shoulder here. What is going on? Why am I making that shape over here? What's it supposed to mean? I don't even know what it means. Oh, because this is meant to not have a drop shadow here, and then all of a sudden it has one. Maybe it just shouldn't have a drop shadow, and make my life easier. I don't know. I'll fix that later. It's all good. I don't need to fix it now. Here and do 3 and 3. Oh man. This is just a body though. Like I'm not even started out with a face. The thing is that the face is gonna be way easier though. It's got a very simple shape. Also use a lot of drop shadows with the hair, which is already done, so I'm hoping it's gonna be faster. But here is to hope. I don't know.
Two of you. Always the two of you. Always the two of you. Always the two of you.
That didn't work. Yeah, not gonna be that simple, I guess. this shading is surprisingly difficult, so it just made my brain stress. So when my brain stresses, it kind of shuts down. No, but it was a legit stream though. Like we did finish like one shot. We rendered the whole thing. This one's gonna take me a little bit longer just because of the freaking shading, dude. It's like so many frames that I didn't plan it. You know, I'm definitely gonna take a break, but it pisses me off because it looks simple at first. Like you look at this motion, you go like, "Hey, how hard can it be to just go from A to B?" But so many frames in between that it's actually making it quite complicated. I'm surprised by how hard it is being so far. Let's see. What it looks
Always
like.
the two of you.
It doesn't even look bad, but
Always the two of
the
you.
lines here kind of vibrate a little bit from left to right, like it's squiggling. Let me watch it one more time with rendered. But yeah. The eyes are kind of doing their own thing. Let's see it one more time.
Always the two of you. Always the
Still
two
look
of
good
you.
though, but
Always the two of you. Always the two of you.
maybe I'm gonna
Always the two of you. Always the two of
yeah, here
you.
whether they're jumping left
Always
or right.
the two of you. Always the two.
You're doing crazy motion there, that's not good. So probably I'm gonna have to rethink it and maybe go line by line instead of the whole thing. Like maybe keyframe 1 and 2 are fine, but for all the in-betweens maybe go like segment by segment. Otherwise it's kind of saturating my brain, and you can't do that to my brain, dude. My brain saturates quickly. So yeah, but no, as I said before, it was a legit stream. I'm gonna take a break and see what I'll do later on. Let me look at the Twitter so I disturb my brain even more. Funnies, cats. Alright, dude, bye.